The next thing to think about when you're setting up your cage is your type of bedding. For this demonstration purpose, we're going to use fleece. When you're lining the bottom of your cage with fleece, I prefer to have it tucked over the edge like this. If you use fleece just on the bottom, what's going to happen is your hedgehog's going to burrow and dig, and as it pees and poops, it's going to smear that stuff all over your cage. Versus if you have your fleece tucked out on the outside and your cage secured on it, the hedgehog can't get under the fleece to burrow. So you do want to have extra burrow materials, and we'll talk about that in another video. But for this purpose, to keep the cage neat, clean, tidy, we tuck it on the outside of the cage. Underneath your fleece, you might want to use an old towel is strongly recommended, because the fleece does not absorb urine or spilled water or something like that. So if you have an old towel underneath, it's going to do two things. It's going to provide extra warmth, because it creates another layer between the plastic and the fleece, but then it also provides an absorbent material to keep your hedgehog dry. When you're thinking about washing your cage material, your sleeping bags, your liners, you'll always want to shake off any excess material on it, so you're washing something that's relatively clean to begin with. But for your sleeping bags, you want to turn them inside out. That will also help remind you to look for loose threads, holes that your hedgehog might be digging, and things like that. If your liner gets any type of holes or loose threads from your hedgehog digging, you do want to toss that out and get a new one. You can always use the rest of the bedding for scraps that we'll talk about a little bit later. But I strongly suggest using no fabric softener, no bleach, because that will maintain the integrity of your fleece. Use a non-scented detergent like All Free and Clear or a Castile soap, something that doesn't have a lot of scent. And then once your fleece is washed, you'll want to only use the light air on your dryer and line dry, because the heat from a dryer will cause the plastic, or the spun plastic, which is all that fleece is, it will cause that plastic to melt and won't maintain the integrity of your fleece.